Present to you tonight's news bulletin. But first, the headlines. For the first time in the Sultanate of Oman, a successful heart transplant has been performed on a 30-year-old patient by an Omani medical team. Over 100 million Omani riyals invested in 17 new agreements signed in logistics sector. And the third round of public auctions for green hydrogen projects lands has been launched in Duqm. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs, received in his office at Al Muaskar Al Murtafa His Excellency Khandakar Misbah Al Azim, Ambassador of the People's Republic of Bangladesh to the Sultanate of Oman. His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said welcomed His Excellency the Ambassador. During the meeting, the good relations between the two countries were reviewed on a number of topics of common interest and were all discussed. In a groundbreaking achievement, Oman has performed its first ever heart transplant led entirely by an Omani medical team, marking a major leap in the nation's healthcare journey and showcasing the strength of local expertise. More detail in the following report. In a pivotal moment that intertwined science with humanity, the Sultanate of Oman has achieved an extraordinary medical milestone, successfully performing the nation's first ever heart transplant. The groundbreaking procedure, carried out entirely by a specialized Omani medical team, marks a transformational leap in the country's healthcare journey. Announced during a press conference at the Royal Hospital, the Ministry of Health confirmed the successful completion of the transplant for an Omani patient suffering from end-stage heart failure. The life-saving operation was made possible through the noble donation of a heart from a brain-dead donor, a deeply human act of generosity that gave the patient a renewed heartbeat and hope. The surgery was conducted at the National Heart Center, led by a multidisciplinary team under the direct supervision of His Excellency Dr. Hilal bin Ali As-Sabti, Minister of Health, who also took part in the operation. An international team observed the procedure, which adhered to the highest ethical and medical standards. Dr. Hilal emphasized that this historic moment reflects not just medical excellence, but a nation vision grounded in leadership, compassion, and the empowerment of Omani talents. Consultant cardiac surgeon Dr. Qasim Al-Abri echoed the sentiment, calling it a new chapter in the Omani medical history.
Doing the first heart transplant in the Sultanate of Oman is a historical moment. And it's a reflection of how advanced the health services that we provide here in the country for our people. And this operation will provide a hope for many, many patients who are suffering from an end-stage heart failure and need such advanced therapy. This operation required a lot of planning and a lot of sophisticated procedure in order to be executed well. It was done entirely by an Omani well-trained team of surgeons and other supporting services. And we are proud of this moment, and I take this moment to encourage the Omani people and the people who lived in this country to contribute with organ donation in order to guarantee the continuation of this program.
I stand here to encourage everyone in our country to think about the power of giving. Organ donation is not just a medical act. It is humanity, compassion, and hope. Through donations, we can save lives, we heal families, and we build a stronger and more caring community.
The Minister of Health praised the donors' family for their selflessness and called on the public to engage with its awareness campaign on social media, aimed at encouraging organ donation and saving more lives in the future. Great achievements there. Now, to learn more about this historical cardiac surgery, we are truly honored to have with us in the studio Dr. Amna Al-Busaidi, Advanced Heart Failure and Transplant Cardiologist, Chairman of the National Heart Transplant Committee. Dr. Amna, thank you for joining us, and heartfelt congratulations to the entire team. This achievement is not only a breakthrough for Oman's healthcare system, but a moment of national pride that reflects years of dedication, vision, and trust in Omani talent. Now, my question, this surgery is a national milestone, yet the heart transplants remain unfamiliar to many. What makes this procedure different from other cardiac surgeries, and what role did the National Heart Transplant Committee played in preparing for it?
Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much for having me here today. I'd like to start by echoing what you've said, that this is really a success, not only at the national level, but also at the international level. We've been able to place Oman's fingerprint on the international map as a region that offers heart transplantation, which is a great success. To answer your question, I think I'd like to start by giving the viewers an overview about the heart transplant procedure itself. So it's a very complex procedure, and unlike other organ transplantations, with the heart transplantation, the donor hearts are received from deceased donors, most of them being brain dead, who are supported on machines to sustain life. So unlike the kidney transplant, liver transplant, for example, where you can receive these organs from living donors or relatives. So this is really what makes heart transplantation unique. The whole procedure itself and the success really is attributed by the pre-operative care, intraoperative, as well as post-surgical care as well. And this is where the role of the advanced heart failure and transplant cardiologists like myself comes in. So before the surgery, we do a battery of tests for the patient, and that involves, first of all, deciding whether the patient truly needs a heart transplant or not, and with the degree of the failing heart. And then we also make sure that the patient doesn't have any contraindication to have the surgery. So we make sure they don't have infections, they don't have hidden cancers or malignancies, something that would make them not a candidate for a heart transplant. Once that's done and they're listed for heart transplantation, we wait until we receive a donor offer. And once we receive that, we have to make sure that it's a perfect match. So once again, this is quite tough, but you need to make sure that the patient's it's a good fit size-wise, the patient's body is not going to reject this new organ. And there's a lot of coordination in this whole evaluation process with a lot of teams. In terms of the National Heart Transplant Committee, which I'm the chairperson of, and this committee was actually established by a ministerial decree in 2024, we've been able to establish a lot of protocols, policies, that really helped us, even with this surgery, to have a smooth course as well. And of course, it's a work in progress, and we continue to work very hard to improve things and better things, and hopefully this is a door to open more successful heart transplantations in our country and the region, inshallah.
Wonderful, great work that you people are doing. Now, could you tell us a little bit about patient, how he is doing right now, and what lifestyle is he going to follow after this major operation?
So the patient is actually doing very well, alhamdulillah, and just starting to go back to their usual activities, which is great, alhamdulillah, in a short time. Of course, the lifestyle after the transplantation involves very close follow-up, particularly in the first 6 months after the heart transplantation. So in the first month, actually weekly follow-ups, where we perform biopsies. So either myself or one of my team members would take samples from the new heart just to make sure that the patient is not rejecting this new heart, a new organ, and to make sure things are going smoothly. So it's very close follow-up that's required. And a lot of part is on the patients themselves, of course, to remember to take their medications on time. It's very important because these medications lower the immune system. And the immune system is basically the fighter cells in our body that can have the potential to reject this new organ. So it's of utmost and paramount importance.
Is he aware about this then?
Definitely. This is part of the preoperative care where we do a lot of counseling for the patients, try and explain to them about, life after, what are the importance of taking, for example, these medications, what happens if you don't, and details about the follow-up, etc. Yeah.
Now, as someone on the front line of these achievements, how important is it to raise awareness about organ donation, and what role can every individual play in supporting this life-saving cause here in the country?
It's definitely extremely important to continue to raise awareness within the public. As you may know, we still have a very small donor pool, but inshallah, we encourage the general public to really strongly consider organ donation, because from one patient, you can actually save multiple lives. We have a very long waiting list of patients, and some patients are not very lucky to receive a donor heart on time. And unfortunately, this can result to unwanted outcomes. So, of course, we strongly encourage the general public to consider organ donation. You can download the application of a Shifa hospital application and volunteer to be an organ donor. So that really helps upfront for the medical team to understand the patient's wishes in the event that they become ill and become a potential organ donor. I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said. As you know, there were recent bylaws that were established for organ donation and transplantation, and this really highlights the importance of this. And I'd also like to thank His Excellency Dr. Hilal Al-Septi for his continuous support and the great initiatives that were established by the Ministry of Health. And finally, if I have a minute, I'd like to thank the rest of the medical team. Of course, it was a numerous number of people, but this involved not just the medical team, doctors and the surgeons, but also pharmacists, nursing staff, immunologists, pathologists, radiologists, and I apologize if I've forgotten anyone.
Well, I think also you would like to thank those who, the family of a donor.
Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely.
Right.
This was a great gift of life, and first and foremost, the thanks goes to the donor's family, and we do encourage other families to consider organ donation, as really you can see the outcome and impact it has on patients with a failing heart.
Indeed, this was the great achievement here in the Sultanate of Oman to have such operation been performed here in the country and with our own people from Oman. I believe there were observers from outside just to secure the situation, I believe so, isn't it?
Yes, so this was a fully Omani team, but of course we had some observers from abroad, and the main idea is really for a quality control and make sure that things are going the right way, in order to make sure that this is, the first stepping stone is done the right way.
Dr. Amna, we're very proud of you and the whole team, and of course His Excellency the Minister of Health, on the top of that, our leader, His Majesty Sultan Haytham. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, that was Dr. Amna. Thank you for joining us and for shedding light on such an inspiring and transformative achievement. We salute you all, medical team, for your skills, humanity, and tireless commitment. Wishing you continued success as you help shape the future of cardiac care in Oman. Under the theme Logistic Technologies and Investment, the Sultanate of Oman celebrated Logistic Day 2025, a fundamental pillar for achieving the Oman Vision 2040 of economic diversification. The ceremony witnessed the signing of 17 agreements with an investment value exceeding 100 million Omani riyals, the launch of the Port Community System platform, and the announcement of a number of initiatives in the logistics sector. The celebration, organized by the Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology, also included a discussion session titled Logistics Sustainability in Light of Global Trends, with the participation of experts, stakeholders and specialists in the sector. The logistics sector's contribution to the gross domestic product is expected to reach approximately 36 billion Omani riyals in 2040. The event was patronized by His Excellency Sayyid Saud bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Governor of Muscat. The Sultanate of Oman has launched its third green hydrogen auction round, marking a new chapter in its strategy to become a leading global hub for green hydrogen production and export. Here is a report on that.
In an effort to provide economically viable opportunities for developers that would support global energy transition efforts, the Sultanate of Oman launched the third round of public bidding for green hydrogen project lands in Duqm. Hydrogen Oman designed the third round to provide greater opportunities for various developers to invest in this promising sector and contribute to building a competitive global green hydrogen economy. With the aim of enhancing investor participation and increasing competitiveness, a plot of land measuring 300 square kilometers in Duqm was offered, and investors were invited to submit bids for projects with an area of at least 100 square kilometers. Bidders will benefit from an extended preparation period of 9 months from the launch of the request for qualification to the bid submission deadline.
The Royal Navy of Oman ship Shabab Oman 2 departs for Europe on its 7th international voyage, Glories of Seas, from the Saeed bin Sultan Naval Base. Over the course of 6 months, Shabab Oman 2 will carry the Sultanate of Oman's message of peace, friendship and cultural exchange across the globe. The ship will make stops in several European countries where it will take part in long-distance sailing races, maritime festivals and cultural events showcasing the Sultanate's rich maritime heritage and strengthening ties with nations around the world. The ship's farewell ceremony was patronized by His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Khalili, Chairman of the State Council. Sultan Qaboos University Council confirmed during a meeting today Master of Science in Nursing from Nursing College and Master of Science in Digital and Innovative Marketing from College of Economics and Political Sciences. The Council also confirmed the amendments on Directory of Honorary Titles at the University, which are Honorary Professional, Academic and Collaborating Researcher and Honorary Doctorate. The Council also reviewed the work updates on all sectors at the university, as well as the implementation status on different decisions and recommendations previously issued by the Council. The meeting was presided over by Her Excellency Dr. Rahma bint Ibrahim Al-Mahruqiya, Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research and Innovation, President of the University's Council. Still to come in our news bulletin. With a production capacity of 2 tons annually, an agreement has been signed to implement the salt purity project in the Wilaya of Mahut. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The Public Services Authority has announced tiered discounts on residential electricity bills during the summer months, starting in May and continuing through the end of August. The current electricity consumption tariffs for 2025 will remain unchanged. In May, Subscribers in the first tier will receive 15% discount, while those in the second tier will benefit from 10% reduction. 5% discount will apply to the third tier. The authority noted that these discounts will increase in June, July and August, rising to 20% for the first tier, 15% for the second and 10% for the third. In line with ongoing efforts to maximize the added value of Natural Resources Minerals Development Company has signed a partnership agreement with DFC Salt Company to implement the salt purity project in the Wilaya of Mahut with an investment exceeding 13 million Omani Riyals. The project, which is the largest of its kind in the region, is expected to have an annual production capacity of up to 2 million tons. The initiative aims to tap into Oman's vast salt reserves and transform the raw materials into high-purity industrial salt products, supporting national industries and reducing reliance on imports. The project is also expected to create job opportunities and stimulate economic activity in Al-Wusta Governorate, in line with Oman Vision 2040 goals for sustainable development and industrial diversification. His Excellency Bahin Dato bin Haji Mohammed Yusuf, Minister at the Prime Minister's Office, visited Muscat International Book Fair in its 29th edition within the framework of his visit to the Sultanate of Oman. His Excellency and his accompanying delegation learned about the most prominent features offered by North Sharqiya Governorate Pavilion. The guest of honor, including the national culture of the Governorate, its history and its landmarks, as well as the Ministry of Information's Pavilion and Ain for Children, both that offers media content for children. His Excellency also checked out Brunei's pavilion in the book fair, as well as Arts Hall and the other pavilions that contain cultural, intellectual and scientific aspects. Now, Bethany Hughes is an award-winning British historian, author and a documentary producer with over 25 years of experience exploring ancient civilizations. In her series Treasures of the World, she explores Oman's rich history, highlighting its archaeological wonders like the Bat tombs and the frankincense roots. Captivated by Oman's role in shaping regional and global history, she presents Oman as a treasure in its own right. More on that, here she comes.
So I've now made my second film on the treasures of Oman. I came with a crew from London. It's now been watched by 120 countries around the world, and I had the most delightful time, and I've fallen in love with the country. I learnt so much filming here. So I knew about the archaeology, but actually I was incredibly impressed by the very deep connection that people in Oman have with their landscape and nature. It feels like the landscape lives in people's hearts. Oman's wonders are very unique, I think, because they're the result of such extraordinary collaboration through time. So this is a country that is in and of itself with an amazing character, but it's also very open to people, and that's happened over thousands of years. So you really feel that in the culture, the history, the archaeology, and it results in extraordinary hospitality. So I'm given such amazing hospitality when I'm here, so that history lives in the present.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. For the first time in the Sultanate of Oman, a successful heart transplant has been performed on a 30-year-old patient by an Omani medical team. Over 100 million Omani Riyals invested in 17 new agreements signed in logistics sector. And the third round of public auctions for green hydrogen projects lands has been launched in Duqm. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin. Thank you for joining us, and good night.
حزنك على العالم ما ينطر خلاصات سلسبيل